Hello guys, it's me Gaming Star here, and today I am back with an episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Last time we had basically done investigations, and we discovered some things, and yeah, that's what we did. This is an investigation. This time I'm going to go ahead and start the, go ahead and finish this case, start the trial. The two-part trial. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended up in a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Yeah. Why do I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You better get going in the defense seat. Roger, don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Hey, pal! Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help. Huh? Have you taken up the aromatherapy too? Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of the aromatherapy bottles. This is the small bottle that turned up in Lesbian's kitchen a couple of days ago. Oh, yeah. Wow, look at all these little bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy bottles. Got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor. Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others. Well, what do you know? It doesn't have a label either. And doesn't smell. We finally got the analysis results back from the lab. So, what is it? Is it the poison? I'm afraid not, pal. It's That's the medication. Medication? Yeah, for years. Topical use only, apparently. 4 years. You mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Ilg was using for his ruptured eardrum. He stole it! God damn it! What was Glenn Ilg's Yeah, he stole it. He stole the bottle. He stole it. Why did he steal the medicine out of all things? What about the unidentified fingerprinting on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had no time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but... that's going to weaken the impact of the piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today, got it? Alright, today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Let's go! Let's go ahead and expose this fricker. Let's go ahead and get Armstrong's case. Let's go ahead and expose Gene Armstrong and Feudal. Let's go. Court is now searching for the trial of Maggie Bride. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting as always, Your Honor. Very good. Well, we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Cooter, which basically almost added nothing to the case. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting powder into the coffee. That hair seems familiar, doesn't it? I swear that's Viola. I swear that's her. I swear that's her. However, the witness testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The marks of the rim of the cup shows the victim drank from with his right hand. But I like the cup though, it looks really nice, but the old man's testimony picked up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Gada. Furthermore, according to the witness account, the victim was listening to the radio with the earpiece in his left ear. Yet, the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, so which made it effectively deaf in that ear. So basically, he should have been doing was he should have been listening to the right ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, Nick. That's a lot. Ha! Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. God damn it, Gada. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved those contradictions? You know the answers to those riddles? The answer to those riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seed in here. He was throwing us off the scent. And today, I'll prove it. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand. Oh god, we're gonna do... Oh god, time for the accent! And you are... Oh, bonjour, everyone! I'm Jane Armstrong, the owner and the chef La Lesbian's restaurant. Enchanted! The entire court's like, what is this gay motherfucker doing? Forgive me for asking, witness, but are you a woman? No, that's a man, bro. That's a man. Oh la la, Montessori. As you can see, I am le perché gentleman, no? Even though he's very, very flamboyant, very feminine, but he's most likely gay. On the day of the incident, you were in Trespian's kitchen. Isn't that right? Was it you, Montessori? I love the stereotype. Everything feels real, right? God, so God, mixed God. Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day of the Tres Bien. Oi, volunteers. At Tres Bien. When it all happened, there were dual customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art decor that day. Like a very large mirror between the tables, for example. Why a mirror? Or perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and the glasses. It would have seen everything in reverse, no? Why were there mirrors? Mirror? Oi, un grand mirror. It is an enormous mirror. So what? So you can reflect on yourself? Is that what it is? So you can reflect on, yourself and like be happy and be nice, kind of like, you know, is that what it is? Why would you add a mirror? I don't know. Why would you add a? Okay, that's a weird choice. Aside, the mystery disappears. But like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back and front. Yeah, it would make everything reverse. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. What the fuck? Who? Why is there a mirror? Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Present his profile. Here we go. I almost presented a trace badge. What am I? Okay, here we go. The left, the glasses are actually on the left. However, so the left, so he actually does have the, so this is wrong. We have a contradiction here, boys. Objection! The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over to Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? Kudos to you. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens and specs. So basically he's listening to nothing. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong with his left ear without a doubt. God damn, this case is insane. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw all the reflection in the mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. Exactamente, you say, Montessori. Now that you think about it, is not so odd, no? But here's the thing. Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. Because he actually does have it on his left. The ear, though, is a bit different. But the lens, he actually does have that on the left. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in the mirror, why is it the HDM is now on the wrong side of his head? Oh, shit. Odd. Mr. Wright's correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in the mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over to his right eye. It's actually... How bitter. Trite, you should have tasted this bitterness. Oh, calm me down for no time. Are we talking about your coffee? Or something completely different? You don't understand that way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume. I broke the vase. Sorry, apology. Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony. Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit other than throwing seeds. The more of impression something makes, the more muddle his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elk? Clearly, it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elk actually made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear. Do you hear? His left ear! I'll try it. That's the worst but best impression of Kudo ever. Wow, I really thought he was old city for a minute there. God, that's good. Enough! I must agree with yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boiled contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell us the court. We're all ears. Oh, I can explain. Please, if you will, look at the... Why? Is this a dating simulator? God, I can't. What the fuck? I remember how... Oh, God, this case. I know, everything's sitting comfortably. La mirror. It was the middle of the restaurant dividing the two halves. What? We didn't see the mirror there. No, none of us ever saw it there. There were only a seat from which you could have seen the image of the victim. So... Ah, come on. The opposite seat in the table next to the victims, that was where the old man was sitting. After that terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it's not in the way. That explains it. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Why the fuck would you have a mirror in the middle of the fucking restaurant? I see no problems with the explanation we just have heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. Okay. We can keep up, except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweater there. I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Voluntaries, of course. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you please. Fuck, dude. Who the fuck adds a mirror into a breast in the middle of... Uno, dos, tres. Crime scene photo. The seat is where the seat table next to the victim. Crime scene photo. So if you go here. Objection! This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo. Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist? Huh, sounds like you're describing yourself, Trite. Now then, if the defense would please clarify its statement. The flower, the vase on the table, should not exist in this photo. It's this vase. Because remember, he supposedly knocked it, so it's the vase. He knocked the vase down, so it's the vase. I think it's pretty obvious what this not be in this picture. The vase? What possible connection do you have to this witness testimony? Your Honor, I'm telling you that there should have not been no vase on this table. Because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. Victor's testimony. It sounds like an apology letter, but here we go. There's no thing that is clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is a broken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not in fact sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Trite. That's impossible. That seat's only been what Kudo could have seen from the victim's reflection from. Exactly. There's only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Tres Biens that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu! I'd have had too much fun with that. God, okay, here we go. Don't try to confuse the court, Trite. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting the crime scene. Yeah, this really gets me in the mood. Unfortunately, Mr. Gata doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary in his own words. I did not touch anything else except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. I was like, wait, who the fuck adds a mirror? I was always like, wait, who adds a mirror on a... Okay, I knew there was something wrong. Last revelation, we've returned back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in the ear in which he couldn't hear? Ha! You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Trite, This problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then it'll be much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. Their reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Your doctor must have made a mistake. Mr. Kudo made a mistake. The victim was a phony! The case is riddled with contradictions. Yet, there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't in Glen Elk at all. It was the imposter. A phony pretending to be Mr. What's imposters up in here? Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in the left ear by mistake. What the fuck? This is so weird. I don't even know. Oh god, this game. Order the court. Settle down. I'll clear the courtroom. Quiet, Grabs. Why don't you clear me out of here, huh? What did you just say? Right. Are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Goddamn, this is fucking crazy. What is this, a conspiracy theory shit right now? Someone pretending to be Glenn Elk acted out with the whole coffee poisoning for all the expert's purpose of creating a witness out of the one, Mr. Victor Kudo. Victor. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was... The serving girl brought him a Jiva channel, but she put something in it. That's the serving girl, right? There in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but... There was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bride in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? That's literally what I'm thinking, actually. Yes, it's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but... It's also true that if the chef was there, he wouldn't have noticed what was happening. That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such a theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la, this is most difficult for me. Yeah, no, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You're under oath, after all. Under oath to God. Was there, in fact, a phony actress bien that day? The defensive man's in Mr. Archer tell the whole truth about what happened. Oh god, what the fuck is this case? The defense requests additional testimonies accepted. What the fuck is this case? You accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day. Oh, oi. Oi, oi, I am like so confused. Won't you get hurt with the fuck... Oh, okay. La victim Mansour Elg came into my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. He said he would know other customers. When we got the word they won the lottery, Monega became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. None, he was at his time the phony dual acting. Just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. She was the man that pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. Oi. For now, we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Please. You took the perjury charge a bit too well. I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after his cross-examination. You're not telling the whole truth either, so I'm gonna guess. Let's go, baby. Let's see. 2. Hold it. Up there goes Mario. By oh man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Oi, it comes often for my special coffee. I drink your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, Montessori. It's all worth many times. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So Mr. Kudo arrived in the around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. How many minutes after? What time was it? How many minutes afterwards? So let's say not much time. Oh my god. Time elapsed between the victim and Mr. Kudo arrived. Oi, that is correct. But this still leaves the possibility that something happened in the gap of time. And by your recollection, how much time would you say has elapsed? Let me see. Approximately 2 minutes, I would say. 2 minutes, that's all? Let's see, unlikely that anything untoward could happen in such a short time. Perhaps I know I should have pursued this line of questioning. What time was it at the time? Out of curiosity, what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, Montessori. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 p.m. by a kind of scary old man, sir. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10, no? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, Montessori. You are wonderful! I can't sit here all the time and do nothing now, can I? The time of day will be added to the witness testimony. Oh, Montessori Judge, everything I do, I do it for you! Merci bien, that's French, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even in humming song to himself. I remember an old man. The old man arrived not long after. I'm just at 2 p.m. The Millionaire Radio Flyer. Let's go to the Radio Man Flyer. Let's remember that. Experience the most filling at 1:30. Baby, there's something wrong, bro. Here we go. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Goy, what do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week, they announced the winning numbers at the $500,000 lottery ticket. Why is that? This must be someone Elge was listening to. I can't see any problem with the testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You said the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oi, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was the time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, Trite. We have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on air at 1:30. Now, supposedly, the victim made a noise when it was announced that he had won. Like, yeah! And yeah, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time! No! The victim would have been told that it was done nothing but that impossible! Listening to the radio with ruptured eardrum? Catching a show that was already over? There is only one conclusion you could draw from these facts. That the victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Why? It's so weird. Yes, there were 2 Glen elves in Tresbien that day. The real England, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony acting out the events of Mr. Kudo to the witness. Certainly seems that way. I mean, it wasn't the case. How could you explain the time discrepancy? Had a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of everyone to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony elk is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. Yeah, he's a really good one at that. How do you explain then where the real Glen is? Glen Elk. I do believe I had to spell this one out in court. However, at the time, the real Glen was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. God, what the fuck is this case, though? Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. What? Now, I pursue you can come this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glenn Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Yeah! I don't even know. What the fuck? The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. In theory, stand up to the examination by court. You must provide us the proof that answers the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the real body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Wright. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court the piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What was the intense pressure all of a sudden? That's a contradiction. Of course, it has to be inside the restaurant. It's not around back into the corner. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence for the body. Inside, obviously. It can't be outside, because, I mean, come on. Imagine they just show up, someone finds it while trying to... It has to be inside. It would have been dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden inside the tres bien. Interesting. But where could a body have been in a restaurant? Perhaps you could show it yourself? Yes, Your Honor. Exact location and where it was. The kitchen. The body was hidden here. I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? The evidence proves the body was hidden in that location. The small bottle. Here. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use my very best bottles, connoisseur. The lightest quality only for me. Where's that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen at Tres Bien. Eh? Goy? But only I ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited Okay, you know what? Ear clinic. Let's just say ear clinic. That was given medication that day. Ear clinic. Simple. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription was given to Mr. Elg. Glenn Elg's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mondoy! Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hit the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client, Maggie Brett. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind that poor girl's back. No! Odd! This is extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenn Elg? Never! I could not do such an horrible thing. No! I did. That was a horrible no, I know. The Mr. Gatto? The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down the mug of coffee. That's an addiction. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea of how many cups you've had by now? Then I'd like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down to the empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my age-deficient friend? Just what's on my pardon, please. You must hear me out. It's a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. Are you Spanish now? Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. Judge, yo hablo español, Mr. Oh, my language coming into play, though. My language is coming. Mr. Armstrong, y por favor is Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? None! None! Absolutely none! Let's hear it. They just speak Spanish. You've got one shot, right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Gatto's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel! Oh, it's clear. What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. The man forced me to do it. I had no choice. A man. I had to go along with it because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. Evidence has to be proven though, bro. You were forced? By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. Let's try a different question, then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at this table? There was... There was another man. Thank you! I knew it! Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Alright, let's go, bro! Then we have the second part of Tribes. It's actually pretty spicy. Uno, dos. The man is Furio Tigre, bro! Here we go. Objection! Let's hit this dance and ring around the rosy, Mr. Armstrong. This is the man that you've been referring to. Ah! Who is that? I feel like I've seen him somewhere before. I don't know. Maybe a month ago in the very courtroom. This man is Furio Tigre, the manager of loan and office called Tender Lender. Oh god, sorry. There's no point trying to hide the truth anymore, Mr. Armstrong. I know you couldn't go against it, at least not a while. He had this on you. The contract. Jean's loan contract. $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. Oh, I hate these eyes, you say. Mr. Armstrong. La Tigre. He told me I was going to use my restaurant for business rendezvous. That's where the play came in today. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim and demanded he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what they told me to. I had no choice. I carried la body la unconscious Maggie out to the dining area and to the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I seen. I think we can now safely say he was an accomplice somewhat. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced your hand was Mr. Furio Tigre. Of course he was this motherfucker. I mean, come on, look at him. Look at him. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison and the lottery ticket were found in the defendant's apron pocket. Was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. For making it look like a Maggie who had done it. I was not. It's despicable. Despicable. Mr. Goddard, you will summon this Furio Tigre as a witness. I doubt that he can be arranged today, so we'll adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. 30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see it to myself. I need a half an hour to get the guy on the stand. Not a minute more. How then? Don't sit back and relax yet, right? No one knows if that chef really is telling the truth or not. The trial could still go on either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Goddard. We will resume once Mr. Tigre is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for 30-minute recess. Alright, here we go. Let's start the second part, shall we? Here we go. Alright. Start part 2, bro. So we're finally ready to see the tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now? He said he was just doing what Tigre told him to do. But Gada picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testifies is truth. You mean you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line that the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I got the feeling that if we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Hey, pal! Do you have a gumshoe, bro? Oh, shit. Detective Gumshoe! What are you so jumping about, Detective? Your hair's standing on end. Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Top Knot. It's not Top Knot. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I gotta get warmed up. Ah! No kidding. You gotta have something you need to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you. I've got an hour. An hour? The trial will have been seen by then. But Nick, we still don't have a real decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints of this for me? The small bottle. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out the prints of these? Oh, that's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think this is the last mystery of whose prints it belonged to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, it's been gawning at me too. Small bottle given detective. Okay, I'll get this out of the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Alright, we will. I said we won't miss. It's pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It was time to separate the phony from the real guys. So we have some imposters, and don't you dare make any Among Us references in the comments. I swear to God, if you do, I'm just gonna, God, don't even. Please don't. Please don't make any Among Us references. I know you guys. I know some of you. Please. Crow will never conceive. Mr. Gada, did you find this Furio Tigre? Yeah, I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites. It's like an animal or something. Very well. We already did animals know in the past, but damn. Please show Mr. Diddy get to the stand. We did animals, we did prosecute, we did, cross-examine, we're gonna cross-examine another animal. What is police station name, occupation for— God. Ah! So head to the table, Maya, unless there's a room for me down there, too. What you'll say to me? Nothing, it didn't say nothing, honest. Who would even guess? Who fear-induce a bad Brooklyn accent, the judge. I got business to take care of, you hear? So who the hell called me into this hall? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. He hid. Your Honor! Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where turf is it? Don't mind me, just carry out the proceedings as normal. That's it, we're doomed. Maybe y'all don't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What you'll say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The ruthless snare of the law. Oh. I am the one that holds you in. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing. No sticking incident, masked boy. You mean you didn't attend to the previous trial of Maggie Bride? Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did the day of the murder. Phoenix, right? Yo's all set this up, didn't you? Yo's gonna regret the day you ruffled the tigre's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought the diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick. Oh my God. Okay. So you cannot do constant pressing because you'll get penalties? I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. You always want to check my alibi? Just ask your later. Ah, at last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination. What is it, please? Quit this if you were fake for shouting like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That low life ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Low life? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you're gonna borrow that cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you tangle with the tigre. Oh God, what the fuck? Yeah, this is the punishment I was worrying about. Huh, I love a good specter split. Just a minute, that's really not... The Swissness is... How can I put it? An hungry tiger roaming in the urban jungle. Get on this bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too? Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You'll better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. I don't spit now. I ain't gonna catch my boss. The court will impose penalty any relevant pressing with this testimony. Keep that in mind. He's going to make cross-examination. Yes, come on, no wonder there already. Would you, Maya? Alright. One. I don't buy that you haven't even heard of the incident that occurred at the SBN. You've got a big mouth, right? You're trying to say I was in the mob? Some mob hit? Is that what you're trying to say? Yes. Where's your proof then? Yes, well, for an attorney to make an accusation in court, he must have evidence. That's from Loan Shark Lawyer, beginner's guide, yeah? Ah, so I see you're studious type, Mr. Tigre. Very good. Huh. Why don't you ask him to represent you sometimes, right? What should I do? Leave it. Just leave it. It's too dangerous to press things without knowing whether I'm manned up. I better just focus on getting information. Now then, Mr. Tigre, would you mind repeating the testimony from the beginning, please? My time ain't free, you hear? You better remember that. If you miss that bus, someone's gonna pay. Hold it. So I take it you get a lot of customers at the black market loan office. It's tough for the little guys these days. Small businesses are feeling like pinch. Bosses of companies like that want to get cool with me, and I'm their best friend. I see. That's very admirable of you, Corpus. Yeah, well, tender lender's motto is win through compromise, you know? Win through compromise. What is that supposed to mean? Compromise the customer to win. That's what it means. You've got it? With best friends like you, who needs enemies? Here, let me spell it out for yous all. You don't pay me back within 3 days, Sparky. I take what's due. And your stupid hair. Will you follow what I'm saying? But I'm not the one of your customers. Should I leave it? Just leave it. Can't do anything because we'll get penalty. Just leave it. You have to be very careful here. It's too dangerous to press. We have to be careful. Now then. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. By Violetta, you're talking about the Gardaverni families. Yeah, you don't want to cross them, or you're gonna wind up slipping with the fishes. Once the Godfather finds out you've been dragging Violetta through the mud, he'll do you in. Sorry, I couldn't quite put it all together towards the end there. He said that just like Viola, didn't he? I get the feeling this might be the right time to probe more about her. Leave it. It won't do us any good. Just leave it. It's too dangerous, so we can't do anything. Now then, Mr. Tigre, would you mind repeating your testimony? Time ain't free. Just think all I have to press and ban relevant and bam, $50,000. Get real, Maya! How about you get paid back the money that you're last year's cover it? Hey, I'm not an idiot, you know. Well, I'm certain this is not $50,000 anyway. Can't leave it too hard. One, two. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp. Is he talking about Viola Gardaverni? She writes everything in my schedule. December mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. Yeah. There he goes again. The tiger did call December's in that issue? Leave it. It's too dangerous. Actually, yeah, we have to in this case. We have to. I don't know. And skip the dialogue. Press harder. It's the only real thing we can do. Mr. Tigre, what you want? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind going into the detail. It's a dead end, try to. You know it. Remember the rules. No! It's essential to establish the witness alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Where were you in the office that day too? Maybe yours ain't listening? Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats who wanted to do business with me. Ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness last statement was important. Mr. Gada, if you could please... Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add the last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The days you're talking about was in the office, too. I never saw that kid before. Patam! Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg. But it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg because of that very day of the incident. You met with him. Not bad. It was actually not bad. So sorry. I was just messing with yours to see how good you were. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without, plus he's lying to his teeth. With this, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You just called me a liar, and that's what you're doing? So you're saying that your claim to have never seen the kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's truth. Huh. Then I'd say that it gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, well, you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre. Oh, yes, would you mind indulging the court? The witness? I never actually met the victim? That's gotta be a lie right there. It's time to nail this guy in the head. The victim, Glenn Elg. I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I met up with the guy at my office, tender lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed up. I ain't never been to Tribulations joint. You was here? You did go there. Don't lie, bro. I see. The purpose seems quite logical. You had an arranged meet with the victim. He didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You can examination. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't big dad down. I ain't gonna make my boss. No, we're gonna have to take express train. The bill is going straight to you, right? Alright, here we go. The victim, Glenn Elg. What the fuck is that name? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Match point! Mr. Tigre, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What's y'all talking about? We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was that book of the restaurant matches doing in your desk? Who's been snooping around my stuff now too, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no bra controlling me. Odd! Well, witness, I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. Pussy. Okay, but okay, I was at the joint that day. Pussy, funny word. What? But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met the kid. Well. It looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. Oh, fuck. He did make a gun like that day. And he did put the poison in his coffee. He must have. This motherfucker was tongue out like, oh god. At the lesbian. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured the place wasn't hot already. It was gonna be, so I spit. I heard the cop sirens on my way out, so I went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet with him at the end then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please? Yes, Your Honor. Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't never gonna make a normal express. No more stupid questions. Huh. No problem. Anytime Trite presses you something relevant, I'll see pays penalty. Mr. Getta, it's my job! Your job is to slam the little hammer of yours and call guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The Special Express ain't cheap, right? So if you use the noise, you'll pay him. Oh, man. Doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Three and four. Uno, dos, tres. All the bit. You mean you saw Glenn Elk's dead body? I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some raggy bit of cloth he called a hat. And that time was it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches. Round watches. I ain't gonna pollute my paws with some ticking headpecker. Out of interest, Mr. Tigre, what wins you second house? Huh? What's your thing? Square watches. Is this guy for real? Look, all I need to know was that something bad was going down in that place. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be so I split. Four. So you didn't actually set a foot inside the restaurant then? But Tigre's a busy cat. I don't hang around in here. I ain't got time to be caught up in no murder investigation. So, when exactly did you pick up the matches? There was no matches inside the front door. Our detective friend wound up in trouble with the chief after taking 5 books home. Poor Gumshoe, almost enough to make me cry. One, two. The floor plans. Jen! You're something of loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes a Tigre's clutches. Oh, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. No one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this? Trite? A new line of relevancy questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From here, your field of vision would have covered the area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have a clear view of the victims. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that's not possible. If the court could think back, you remember that between each of tables, it's a tall parchment. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. You see it. From the entrance, the field of vision to any customer walking in ends here. You sweating fucking bullets up in here, bro. You're sweating bullets. So from the entrance of Tres Bien, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him. Wrong! Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at this table. But the defense just proved the point to be moot. Moot? The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kuda, was not Glenn Elg, but fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kuda falsely testify, the real killer was posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. That will do. This trial has gone long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elg and then impersonated his victim to perform his firm, Victor Kudo. In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal in court. Of course, it has to be Furio Tigre. I mean, come on, it's always so. Yeah. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have been it. What? Well, with this. Now that's cute. You'll think you can pin this on the Tigre. Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is the king of the jungle. So out your damn come to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. You can be Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like you must be. Oh man, you's got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Gaba! Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see, just the victim. Oh, no. The serving girl brought him a cappuccino. She put something in it. There's no question about it. She had compromised, put some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't really matter. The fact remains he saw accused put the poison in the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very present, Mr. Gada. Waiting for my absence to launch an attack. Ha! Found your pen at last, right? It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Elk, and the waitress. From behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion's obvious. That this Glenn Elk was really the killer in disguise. Then surely it's possible that the waitress was also part of the show. What do you mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bride, fell unconscious immediately after the incident, the real one. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was it as waitress was? Remember how I said it was, how the hair seemed very similar? Viola Cardinelli, bro. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cardinelli. She is an employee at Tender Lender. Yo's making a big mistake. Do you know who Violeta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight, if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bride, was stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. She had like a kind of cackling laugh. There was just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bride seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when the eardrum was ruptured. The radio show when he was supposedly listening to the half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice! Once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furia Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you! Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry. Yo's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm on this with this game. I'm gonna have the charter jet to get me out of my knitting now, but I'm gonna give Yo's one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about. Yo's got it all wrapped up nice, huh, Wright? But Yo's missed out one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met the kid. But I couldn't have poisoned him. He was here. What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? Huh. What a troublemaker. Troublemaker. Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day in 3 p.m. between yourself and the victim? Ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned El cash. About $100,000. Damn, that's a lot of money. That day, he was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date. See? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000! Yeah, got lucky, you know, real lucky. And that waitress hadn't done what she had done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that principal amount you loaned to Mr. Was $50,000. Yeah, well, you also got the Vega ticket account interest bills fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got the $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no cause. This motive. Yeah, what's that one? What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold it. The waitress, you mean? That girl with the glass in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? She hadn't gotten in the way. Things would have been that bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little. Ask about what Maggie did. Ask about how things would have been. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? And you also 301 talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 bucks, but that's all. I'm a businessman. I was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness testimony, other than recuperating the loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will then testimony reflect that which said. The tiger's motive, huh? I was after the $100,000. Didn't have no other reason to kill the guy. MC Bomber. Objection! You could also show the medical papers and the sports paper too if you want. So you must intend to get back the $100,000 Mr. Ugg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Ugg, I don't believe that $100,000 is what you are really after. Objection. What are you getting at, trite? What else could a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after money? But money is in a totally different league. What kind of money does a single disc like this would fetch? What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. Computer virus? What is this one of those? Computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer. What does one of these do? I guess the beard is only part of his honor since the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is an important point. A virus like MC Bomber could be worth several $1 million in the black market. Several $1 million?! Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would be normally bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Elg was a programmer, the highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money. You're trying to suggest the witness' motive was to get the whole of that program. Exactly. The witness may have poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. But what if he had needed the money right then? Then the pressure's on, and the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion to this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share with us? What did Mr. Thiega need money to tune in $1 million? The $1 million fucking medical paper? The cardiac surgery for $1 million? How do you pay $1 million for a cardiac, which is basically skull, which is basically like a head surgery? Here, the main papers you need today. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An incident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital, where she underwent surgery. How much of this do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum! So much to sue those HMOs! Yeah, it's a lot. Like, $1 million for cardiac surgery is really a lot of money. Like, who the fuck pays that much for surgery? Look, I know surgeries can be pricey sometimes, depending on the doctor, but damn, what the fuck? Huh, no one else can pay a bill like that. If that medical association got a wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. That's true. That's pretty bad practice on the hospital's part. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Right. You know what? I'm gonna let him do it. I don't want to do it. Odd. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright. Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Gardeverini. Did you say Gardeverini? Bruto Gardeverini. I'm sorry. Bruto. I know it's the name, but it just gets me because Bruto in Spanish and Italian could also mean idiots. So in Spanish and Italian, Bruto also means idiots. Or idiota. Bruto in some is actually idiot. However, I use idiota most of the time, but you know what I mean. Mob boss charged all underground activities in the city and daughter grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Gardeverini. Purple Gardeverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss. The boss, correct? It makes sense, but the Theodore thing. You're desperate to acquire $1 million. Bruto Gardeverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, you decided to sacrifice Glenn Elk's life to pay your debt. Damn, bro. On the day of the murder, Mr. Digger's sole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glenn Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Digger knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Digger would prefer to say that never happened. But he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 in the lottery, which left Mr. Digger with no one getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least not legitimately. So he sprinkled it with cyanide, with potassium cyanide. So he resorted to legitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Elk and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bride for the crime. Poor Maggie. Mr. Digger's posed as Glenn Elk, while Viola Cardeveni played the role of this bride. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Gudo. Like I said, Trey, that's crazy! No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Gatto? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. And that's a lot of money. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Oh boy, you getting fucked! Tigers. Mario! Crap! Yo's put up a good show, Spiky. Oh shit. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. Yo saying I dressed up like that kid created a witness and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you're very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bride had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us in all trait? The paper badge. What was this trick? His keys to the paper badge. Bandit is cardboard and painted to look authentic. What on earth is that? That an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim of the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt about it was you, standing in here at this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I've ever seen. Can you prove it, Gramps? Prove that attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. We're prepared to take the stand and testify to it was him. Hey. Forget about it. Yeah, damn! I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Bro, we gonna... have you no pride, sir? Oh, boy. This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court, we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor, speaking of myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by memory without evidence to support it. No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenn Elk, and he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence of witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Yeah! Wait a minute. Ha! He changed the meter quickly. Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get mauled. Seal's got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around it. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. Just one more piece of evidence. I think it's been an hour. What was I gonna Maggie off the hook? Holy shit, I didn't realize. So this cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre. Hold it! Ah, fuck. Your Honor, sir. Wait! Yeah! Detective Gumshoe! You come in clutch! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry I took so long, pal. It's been an hour. I stick everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, Detective? Is it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? Damn! Gumshoe over here taking it the clutch. Bro, he's taking it clutch. I love you, Gumshoe. Oh. Damn! It's gonna be a final episode I'm gonna do for today. So I looked so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prince, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so do you know who the prince belonged to? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So tell us, they're the tigers, right? You bet. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. Their Furio Diga's paw prints all over it. That's great. Got it now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly ever said a word since Dr. Gumshoe got here. He slayed everything on the line for us, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are in the bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? Well, we need to pursue the stage in the trial. It's irrefutable evidence that the tiger poisoned Glenn's Ellie's coffee. He's already admitted that he met with the victim. The fact that these prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I tried, I'm never gonna have any of this. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie, and I've been working on this useless piece of evidence that whole time. It's alright, I'm really a loser. It's not breaking any news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm the detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get you out your hair now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Alright, let's start the segment. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I guarantee your research to compare the piece of evidence you discovered. Yes. You don't need to keep us all in suspense, Wright. Show us. Naturally. You can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Thank Phoenix. Don't let the Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to court before. But Shul's lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. Gee, I wonder. Given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, we'll talk this through. Well, I know I can prove anything with this new evidence, but I'm really backed up corners. I don't know if it's gonna beat. He'll flesh guard down a bit. Keeps waiting longer. It's a small bottle. Okay. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's? Your Honor, naturally the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interestingly new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. The fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre! What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows this bottle contains, except for one man, one person's courtroom. My prints are on it, pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you're saying? Well, what in the hell is in it anyway? A phony trial, a phony lawyer, phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive evidence to prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains Mr. Armstrong's oils. The potassium cyanide. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Egg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You make a good clown. You know that? Me a clown? Bro, I can't walk around wearing the shoes. You ain't never gonna get to stick. Y'all's making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through your phoenix, right? Ain't that a bottle with the cyanide in it? No. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown and made of glass. That cheap piece of trash? That looked nothing like it. Oh no. Got him, at last. What? What's everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle! It's the bottle you're referring to. Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle cyanide was in. But Joe's gonna find any prints on that bottle. Oh, that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell him that guy where you go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. Just now, you slept in front of every single person in this. Damn, you idiot! This courtroom described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Yo's don't know who you're messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up soul get the better of me? Sure, but the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. That phony trial with phony lawyer. I'll play that by you. The biggest phony of all! The breakdown is gonna play itself. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything. The lights went The power went out though! What's going on? It looks like it's a blackout. Well done, Wright. I saved myself a cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if it's this haul or see if we'll let go. But now then, are you fit? That rhymes. Mr. Tiger, Mr. Gatto, he's been arrested in suspicion of the murder of Glenn Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. His bride was found guilty in the absence of genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in absence of genuine evidence. But that tiger made the mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything with one slip of the tongue. Julio Rodriguez, truly a frightening criminal. Huh. That truly frightening one, indeed. That defense attorney over there. God. Well, I am now in position to deliver a verdict. This court finds defendant Maggie Bride not guilty! Hey! It's done! God damn! And then we have the next case, which is a pretty interesting case. With we're gonna get into that case later. The fourth case. That's gonna be interesting, I'm just gonna say. It's another flashback case. So remember I said we're gonna play as Mia again. I actually said we're gonna play as Mia again at some point. So we're gonna play as Mia again in the next case. So it's gonna be another flashback case. Mr. Wright, I'm a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me on the trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well, I was. Well, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective! He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt off for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even any abuse! But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya isn't right. I know Gumshoe, but really needs it. Maggie, you know, Detective Gumshoe really been worried about through all this. I want to believe that, sir. But on the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove her to Gumshoe really cares about her. I know, I gave her a little present to celebrate. Here you go. Here you go. A present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe. Made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies. You know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, that trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? 1 hour and 21 minutes. Is it okay if I eat this now? So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. Mario! So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Alright, so anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, or whatever. And next time, we're gonna go ahead and start episode 4, Turnabout Beginnings. This is Mia's first trial, so we're gonna go ahead and basically see how Mia's first trial went out. We did get a little bit of hint of what the ending was in the first episode, so we're gonna go ahead and actually, you know, see what actually happened. So, see you guys then. Bye.